Hi there, General Roses. Welcome back to the YouTube. Did you have a good Christmas? Yeah? Did you have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year? In today's video, we're going to be looking at the craziest, most unlikely things to happen in school. Now, as the video goes on, these things get more and more unlikely and also more and more weird. You are not going to believe what is at the end. But before we get into it, guys, I just want to point this out, right? Of all of you guys that watch my videos, just 20% of you are subscribed. The other 80%, you watch the video and then you just leave and then you don't subscribe and it's really sad. So if you watch my videos and I make you laugh, then please do subscribe. It's free, so I don't know why you don't just do it. Just do it now! Okay, first one. Apparently there is a 100% chance that you had your school photo taken when you were in school. So I guess this means that every school does this. Did you have your school photo taken? If not, then this video's bullshit and I don't even know. We should just end it here. Apparently there's also a 100% chance of presentation in front of the class. I guess every school makes kids do this. Nobody likes doing this. Okay, there is a 1 in 1.05% probability that you were late to school. The bus was late, miss. I swear. I do remember that happening. I also remember if I missed the bus, then my parents would have to drive me to school and then they'd just be really pissed off at me. Because all I had to do was get up 10 minutes earlier and then I could just catch the bus. But yeah, sorry about that, Mum. Okay, so don't forget, these things get more and more improbable as we go along. So there is a 1 in 1.23 probability of passing notes no longer a secret when the teacher intercepts them. I don't think I ever actually did that, surprisingly. So I was of the few people that didn't do that. Or maybe I did. Maybe I remember like writing on a bit of paper and then throw it at my friend and then them opening it up and it would just say fuck you or something like that. The teacher would find it and they'd be like, right, who did this? There is a 1 in 1.64 probability, I don't know where they get these probabilities from, of lining up for the fire drill. I would have guessed that everyone did that, right? In my whole time I was in school, which feels like about 50 years, I probably had at least 50 fire drills, like if not hundreds, just because every one would be either a drill or someone had set it off, and the amount of times I was just standing outside in the rain or the cold, and it would always be the worst if it went off during a lesson that you liked, like PE or something. But if it went off during maths, great. Caught not listening. So, how are you going to answer the question now? This happened to me. I think I was in year 7, and I was not like the year 7s in my videos. I was like, the then versus now videos, I was always the then. I was scared shitless of everything. And I was doing this with a pen. So the teacher was talking, and I was just doing this. I was just chucking a pen up in the air, and the teacher, he was Scottish, and he said, he went, you! I was like this. You just got yourself an after-school detention! And I was like, I just cried. Some kids would argue that that is unfair. Some kids would argue with the teacher. I didn't. I just burst into tears. There is a 1 in 1.94 probability of cheating on a test. I definitely cheated on tests. I never cheated on any of the real tests, only the mock ones. So, for example, if you were doing like a mock test on the computer, it was so easy to just open another tab on Google or get your phone out and Google the answer. So yeah, I definitely cheated on a test, but not any real ones. There is a 50% probability that you did homework in class. So the teacher sets you homework to obviously do at home, and they also give you homework to do in the lesson now. You might decide, instead of doing the work in the lesson now, you're going to do the homework instead. It's actually a really genius idea. But then I suppose if you didn't do the work that they'd set in the lesson, then you might get in trouble. So maybe you're just ingenious and you're able to work at light speed and do all the work in the lesson. There is a 1 in 2.03 probability of swinging on your chair. We all did that. I can't really do it in this chair because it's got wheels, but you get the idea. Heard of the story of the kid who died rocking too far back in their chair? Every teacher has that story. It's like every school has had a horrible, horrible accident. And it's not like they're referring to this kid who was on this one kid who it happened to once ever. It just seems apparently every school has had a kid that's died, which in my view is a bit of a health and safety issue. There is a 1 in 2.17 probability of pretending to be sick. I definitely did this. Are you a good actor? I mean, we've all done this. I think it's even more than 1 in 2.17. I think everyone's done this, to be honest, on at least one day. But yeah, there was a time in school, I think I was in year 7 or 8, when I wasn't really liking school that much. And I actually was sick for the first week. After a week, I thought, I really don't want to go back to school. This is great. I'm having like my own summer holiday here. And then I just pretended to be sick for the next 3 weeks. So I had a whole month off. And then eventually my parents just made me go in, and it was horrible. It was probably a good thing they made me go in. Otherwise, I would be even more stupid than I am now. There is a 1 in 2.4 probability of performing in the Nativity. I don't remember performing in my Nativity. I mean, yeah, I must have been really young. And if I was anything, I was probably just a tree or a door or something, because I really don't remember it. Remember your lines! What does a door say? There is a 1 in 2.98 probability of having a crush on a teacher. I think we've all had a crush on a teacher, surely. Which subject was your crush from? Science. And I'm going to leave it at that. There's a 1 in 3 probability of going on a school trip. Really, only a 1 in 3. So 2 out of 3 schools didn't go on a school trip. Maybe your parents didn't let you go on a school trip. Make sure to get to the back of the bus first. Yeah, I'm just going to change the subject here. Why is it in a car that you want to sit at the front? Sitting in the front of a car is just the best. It's just known to be the best. And in a bus, everyone wants to sit at the back. And if you sit at the front, you're looked at as a loser. How's that work? 1 in 3.2 probability of walking into the wrong classroom. This isn't geography. Yeah, I've definitely done that. And you walk in and every kid looks at you like you're something dripping off a toilet brush. The whole lesson stops and just stares at you like this. And just like, oh, sorry. You realize you've walked into a class full of the bigger boys. And you never live it down. Oh, this is a bad one. 1 in 3.32 probability calling the teacher mum. I did this. I remember calling the teacher dad, actually, and she was a woman. It was a lady. I remember calling another teacher dad, and his response was that it was great, and he just said, yes, son. He was a good teacher. There is a 1 in 3.49 probability of being caught on your phone. Where have they got this statistic from? Like, how have they worked this out? The modern form of passing notes is texting. That is true. Yeah, that is a lot easier than writing on a bit of paper and screwing up and throwing it. Now, don't forget, guys, these get weirder and weirder as we get to the end. You are not going to believe what is at the end. There's a 1 in 3.68 probability of forgetting your sports kit. Time to look in the lost property, and then you'd open the lost property, and it would just be full of girls' sweaty shit. And you had to put something on, otherwise you'd get a detention. Forgetting your PE kit was just the worst thing in the world. I didn't want to forget my PE kit anyway. I love PE. Oh, but yeah, it only happened a couple times for me, but it was horrible. There's a 25% chance of you being bullied. If you witness bullying, tell a teacher. I agree. Tell a teacher. Nobody likes bullying. Yeah, you heard it here. 1 in 4.48 probability of your first kiss in school. I did not have my first kiss in school. I had my first kiss when I was 3. No, I'm joking. Yeah, that was my uncle. No, I'm joking. I had my first kiss when I was 19. I was late. It was after school. But yeah, 1 in 4.48 probability. It wouldn't be the same if it wasn't witnessed by all of your mates. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. Having your first kiss in school though, I feel like it's funny because it just, like, looking back now, I wonder how many first kisses have actually gone on to, like, marriage, girlfriends, and then marriages. Like, how many first kisses are, like, in primary school where they're just a little, like, peck on the cheek and you'll never see that person again. There's a 1 in 5 probability of playing computer games in class. Quick, the teacher's coming. Switch to the work. Cool maths games. Did you play cool maths games? The teacher would walk past, think you're playing a cool maths game, and you weren't. You weren't at all. That was just the name of the website. You're actually playing Age of War or something awesome like that. 1 in 5.8 probability of running to lunch. First in line gets the best food. That is true, actually. Yeah, you'd get the best pick of the food, and you try and pick the biggest portion as well. Saying that, I did have packed lunch though, so I didn't even need to do that. I didn't have to rush to lunch. It was all in my bag. Okay, these things are getting a bit more unlikely now. So 1 in 6 probability of making a pencil holder. I definitely never did this. Design technology teaches some valuable lessons. It's probably because I didn't do DT. Yeah, I never made a pencil holder, but that sounds awesome. Wow, a 1 in 7 probability of getting an A. I only got an A once, I think, on a science test, and it wasn't a real one, it was a mock one. I just remember that, but yeah, no, in all my actual exams, the ones that actually counted, I got like C's and D's. Wow, this video is really bringing back horrible memories. There's a 1 in 7.4 probability of sex education. Really? 1 in 7.4? I thought all schools did that. Putting a condom on a cucumber was a life lesson. I loved sex education in school. It was always so funny. Not only was it actually interesting, but it was just the funniest thing ever. That your teacher had to teach you how to put a condom on your schween. And doing it with all your friends as well. I mean, not doing it with all your friends. Like, you don't have sex with your friends. I mean, doing the lesson with all your friends. Just gonna clear that up. Was really fun. 1 in 7.7 probability of winning an award. I actually won an award. I can't even remember what it was for now, but it was definitely something to do with sports, but I can't remember. Something to do with sports. When I left school, I won. I can't even remember what it was for. Biggest idiot in PE goes to JJ Everett Rose. Getting up in assembly in front of your mates is the best feeling. Yeah, it is. You'd have so many people cheering you. 1 in 8 probability of wetting yourself. No, I don't think I did ever wet myself in school. I was probably more close to shitting myself in school than wetting myself. This happens to the best of us. There's also a 1 in 8 probability of golden time. The only time of day that playing Pokemon was acceptable. What the hell is golden time? Golden time is a weekly timetabled slot of half an hour each week where children are able to take part in an activity of their choice. Sex. If a child keeps the golden rules each week, they automatically have a right to take part in their chosen activity. Well, you just get to do what you want for half an hour. Is that not break or lunchtime? Or is this like during lesson time? Oh my god, that's so cool. We never had that. I suppose it's 1 in 8 probability of that happening, but we never had that, and I really wish we did. Okay, apparently if you go to school on any given day, there is a 1 in 9 probability of a fight breaking out. Like a swarm of seagulls, everybody is watching. It's so true. You just be walking around the school, and all of a sudden you hear, like, loads of kids shouting. You turn around, there'll be, like, hundreds of kids swarming, shouting, fight, fight, fight. And in the middle, there'll just be 2 poor people just going, because nobody knew how to fight in school. That was literally it. Like, it was just always so funny to watch. 1 in 10 probability of playing stuck in the mud. Are you quick on your feet? I think I did play stuck in the mud. I didn't play it in secondary school. I only played it in primary school from the age of 4 to 11. 1 in 11 probability of asking out your crush. Remember, it's all about the confidence, which I didn't have, which is why I didn't ever ask my crush out. 1 in 12 probability of getting a detention. Now, how do I stop my parents from finding out? The biggest reason, right, I didn't want a detention in school, or why I hated getting in trouble, it's because I was worried my parents would find out. It's not even like my parents were like particularly strict. They weren't, actually. They were probably the opposite. But I just hated the thought of like letting them down. Pretty deep, actually, isn't it? But it's true. Like, I just hated getting detention. Which is why when I got caught catching the pen, and he said, "You've got yourself an after-school detention." That's why I burst into tears, because I thought, my mummy and daddy are going to find out. By the way, in the end, he didn't actually give me a detention, because he saw I was crying, and he felt sorry for me. So he just let me go. He just said, you know what? I can't be asked to deal with this crying mess. You can f*** off. 1 in 13 probability of toilet paper stuck to ceiling. Yeah, that is so true. When you walk into the boys' toilets, I don't know if it's the same in the girls' toilets, it would just be horrible. It would just be like, yeah, toilet paper stuck to the walls and the ceilings. There'd be shit smeared over the walls. I don't know if this was just in my school or what, but I've spoken about this in previous videos, and yeah, the toilets would just be blocked with shit. And like some idiot has just got the whole loo roll, shoved it down there. I just feel so sorry for the cleaners. Cleaners in schools, they deserve to be paid 3 times what they're being paid. If not more. 1 in 14 probability of forgetting your food ingredients for your cookery class. Yes, food tech. You'd either forget your ingredients or you'd tell your mum the night before. You said, "Mummy, by the way, I've got food tech tomorrow." She'd be like, "Oh, for f***'s sake, what do you need? Flour, meat, unicorn liver from the highest mountain." And she'd be like, "Oh, fucking hell. Why are you telling me this now?" So, "I'm sorry, I just remembered now." And then she'd get it all for you, and then you'd forget to take it in the next day. Honestly, I can understand why some people don't have kids. I forgot my food ingredients once, and I phoned my mum, and she didn't pick up. So what did I do? I started crying. This was like in year 7. I used to cry a lot. That's what I'm sort of realizing now. I used to cry a lot in school. Mainly in year 7. 1 in 14 probability of bunking school. Stay in school, kids. Yeah, I definitely never bunked school. Does pretending to be sick count as bunking school? I feel like bunking school is when your parents think you've gone to school, you go to school, and then you leave before you actually walk past the gates. I don't know. I don't know. What counts as bunking school? I've never done it. I was a good boy. It's a 1 in 15 probability of your pants being pulled down. Sports changing rooms are a brutal place. Yeah, full of fucking horrible people that like to see your ass for some reason. I think that happened to me probably once. And yeah, it's really embarrassing, like, because everyone just laughs. I wouldn't ever do that to someone else. I just think it's just a really weird thing to do. 1 in 16 probability of falling asleep in class. Must have been a long night of homework last night. I think I fell asleep once in lesson, and I think it was like year 2, because I really didn't get a good night's sleep before. I don't know why, but I just remember being really tired in school. The teacher woke me up, and I can't remember what she did. I definitely got in trouble. I probably cried, let's be honest. Talking of crying, there is a 1 in 17 probability of the teacher crying. The emotional one. It's always bad when this did happen, actually. And I do remember our science teacher crying because she was basically being bullied. She was basically being bullied, and it was, yeah. I feel for the teachers sometimes, because that is horrible. You do not want to be bullied by the kids you're actually trying to teach. 1 in 17.5 probability of terrorizing the substitute teacher. I actually think the probability of this happening is way higher, because this happens so much in my school. If everyone swaps names, no one can get in trouble. Yeah, exactly. You'd swap names. Yeah, you just take the piss out of the teacher. Honestly, kids are horrible, aren't they? The poor substitute teachers, they're just trying to do their job. You're horrible. Right, there's a 1 in 18 probability of being sent out of class. Then looking back at your mates inside and getting them sent out. Oh my god, yes! You get sent out, and then like you peek back in the door through the window and make them laugh, and then they get sent out as well. I never actually did that, but I just remember seeing that happen. I never got sent out because I would have cried. I never did that, but I remember seeing that happen so much with like the naughty boys in the class. 1 in 20 probability of being sent to the head teacher. Must have been something serious. I do remember in primary school I was pissing about in PE. It didn't give me any warning. Again, I seem to get no warnings with this shit. They'd tell me to go to the head teacher straight away, and that's exactly what happened. I was like, no, please, I'll behave, I promise. And then they went, all right, and then let me off. But I do remember just the instant fear going to not just any teacher, but the head teacher. 1 in 21 probability of parents being called in. What did I do now? No, that definitely never happened to me. I mean, the only time my parents would come into school was on parents' evening. They didn't get called in. Let me know in the comments, guys. Have your parents ever been called into school to talk about your behavior? You're naughty. You're naughty little boy or naughty little girl. 1 in 24 probability of throwing up in class. Now, this has not happened to me, and I'm very glad it hasn't. At least you get to go home now, though, right? You probably wouldn't. I don't know if it's in every school, but the school nurse in my school was horrible, right? She was a bitch. Like, you could have broken your arm and walked in like this, going, oh! Oh! And she'd be like, what? Do you want a wet paper towel? Or, you know, what the f*** wrong with you? Like, you could literally have your neck broken. And she'd be like, you'll be all right. Wet paper towel, you're straight back into maths lesson. 1 in 25 probability, failed a year. Clearly, you weren't concentrating this year. Yeah, or you're just stupid. One or the other. Being held back a year must be one of the worst things ever. Not only have you got to be in school a whole another year more than everyone else, but you've then got to repeat exactly what you've just been doing in school. That sounds like the worst thing ever. I don't know how much someone would have to pay me to resit like another year of school. We're talking millions. 1 in 27 probability, selling sweets in the playground. That kid runs a business now. There was always the drug dealer of sweets in school. He'd be like, do you want a Snickers? I got a Snickers. You want Mars bar? You want Mars bar? And they just, yeah, they'd basically run their oown little business, their little black market sweets business in school. Okay, we are getting to the weird ones now. Smoking at the back of a field. Smoking kills. It's not cool. Stay away. I agree. Smoking was never an interest of mine. I never felt like I needed to do it to be cool. I always just thought, if you're smoking, it's just a bit cringy, really. Like, why are you doing it? It's obviously bad for you. There's a 1 in 31 probability of saying, my dog ate my homework. It's not impossible, but it is improbable. The only times I remember kids saying that was just to try and get a laugh. I don't think they were ever saying it like it actually happened. Okay, we have shot way up here. 1 in 60 probability of getting expelled. Time to find your next school. Being expelled, that must be a scary time. You're being expelled, you're going to a new school, so you've got to make new friends. When you go to the new school, all the kids are going to know that kid got expelled from his last school. Isn't he so awesome? I suppose it's not that bad, actually. 1 in 80 probability of breaking a bone. Most often occurring during PE. This definitely happened. I remember once I was in an assembly and it was like a performance assembly. So we all sat down and we were watching. What we were watching was trampolining. So it was like a trampoline PE lesson that somebody was doing like really high jumps. You know what a trampoline is. They were doing all these different tricks and it went very wrong and they landed on their leg funny and their leg broke. And in an assembly with everyone watching, and the ambulance had to come and take them away. Anyway, that's my story. Okay, we've made it to the last two, and they are very weird to say the least. 1 in 176 probability of inappropriate photo shared round. Yeah, this would always happen. This would always happen to the slag, basically, wouldn't it? Never share inappropriate photos with other kids. Yeah, just do not do it because, you do not want pics of you going around school. Oh my God, that sounds like the worst thing ever. Especially if you're like fully naked as well. You're not just getting trouble with the school there, you're getting in trouble with the police. And the last one, 1 in 2 million probability of sleeping with the teacher. That teacher may have some charges coming their way. Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? That is so f***ed up. Also, to be honest, 1 in 1.2 million probability doesn't sound like enough. That's actually quite possible. It's really scary. I wonder how many times that has happened. It's just so weird. Just imagine the thought of like sleeping with your teacher, like your maths teacher, or your science teacher, or whoever it is you've got in your head. That would be so weird. And then worse yet, you're pregnant with their baby. Oh my God. Or they become pregnant from you. That would be so fucked up. I told you it was going to be fucked up, didn't I? Told you it was going to be a weird one. Oh my God. Okay, guys. We have made it to the end of the video. I hope you, I don't know, I guess learned something. Don't sleep with your teacher. Or send nudes around the school. It's so weird. Right, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If I did make you laugh or if you learned something new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Take it easy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Oi! Subscribe!
Oh God, please subscribe! Subscribe!
Subscribe! Subscribe!